Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and I create daily breakthrough videos every single day on this channel. So if you don't want to miss any, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell below. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the most common reasons dismissive avoidant attachment styles pull away in romantic relationships. And this will hopefully be very useful to somebody on the receiving end of this for context, for understanding, and also to know how to approach this so you can set boundaries and find more balance and harmony in the relationship. If you see somebody pulling away and you want the person to move more towards healthy interdependency. So, first and foremost, the most common reason is that the dismissive avoidant has this already sort of shrunken emotional bandwidth. And what I mean by that is DAs are often in sympathetic nervous system mode. They're usually in low level fight or flight. And it comes from being a child and growing up in an environment where important needs were not met, usually in the form of some kind of emotional neglect or repression. And so what happens is if needs are not met, then at some level, we try to sort of overcompensate for that. We try to okay, I have to take care of my own needs. I have to be ready. And at a very young age, if you were programmed to think you were basically on your own in some form, then what essentially takes place as a result of that is the dismissive avoidant will grow up into their adult life feeling very isolated and on their own at a subconscious level, and sort of they have to fend for themselves. They sort of tend to be in this constant state of coping at a subconscious level, which has an impact on how their nervous system regulates itself. So as a byproduct of all of this, they get emotionally tired more easily. And also, second to that, if you've been taught to have to park your emotions at the door a long time ago, and that was your way of sort of coping and surviving, as a byproduct of that, what often takes place is this individual grows up. And if I'm out of relationship to my own emotions and I'm repressing them and pushing them down, and I don't think they're safe and I don't think they're okay for me to really feel, then I don't have a lot of those to give to another person. So as a byproduct of these things, we see the DA and their emotional bandwidth is already shrunken. It's almost like they're sort of out of touch with their emotions, and trying to feel their emotions almost feels a little bit dangerous or unsafe. So it burns them out more quickly. And so this is the most common reason you'll see DAs sort of keep people at bay, because they're often going to work, coming home, feeling burnt out from feeling and being around so many people at work, and then having to kind of just regulate and numb, which they often do through their creature comforts. The second biggest reason a dismissive avoidant pulls away is because they feel overwhelmed by commitments required in a relationship, by feeling like they are expected to meet too many needs, that they're scared that they're not going to be capable of or good enough at or available for. So this can be another big reason the DA sort of pulls away and sort of creates space, because they don't want to have too many expectations placed upon them. Then we have the dismissive avoidant pulling away when they're triggered, right? And of course, those other things can basically be small triggers, but I mean in an argument, a conflict, things like that. And dismissive avoidance when they feel unsafe, but especially when they feel criticized or shamed, or they are defective or something's wrong with them, or they're sort of fundamentally flawed, this causes them to shut down very, very strongly. And in these cases, you'll often see a DA really push away hard and for prolonged periods of time, sometimes even not just minutes or hours, but sometimes, days at a time. And when this is taking place, it's extremely important, if you're on the receiving end of this, to recognize, hey, this is what's going on here. The person's triggered, and then work to resolve conflict as a unit together. But it's also important that you, if you are the dismissive avoidant, make space to let somebody know when you're triggered and what triggers you, so that it can be understood, and so that your partner can work on that if they become critical or defensive. A lot of the time, dismissive avoidants are too afraid to be vulnerable and open up about that, so they won't share and they'll just shut down instead. And our last most common reason, oh, and by the way, we are in the very last days of our 14-day free trial. It's the only time we're doing this on this channel is for the month of May. And it gives you access to our whole course platform, all of our courses, all of our events that we have inside the community every single day, the 4 live webinars I do every single week with our students, where you can ask questions, get your personal questions answered by me, and come in and check out bonus content and our whole webinar library. All of this stuff is available to you in the school for 14 days if you want to check it out. All of our programs for reprogramming your attachment style, healing fearful avoidant, dismissive avoidant, anxious preoccupied, and you can really get like at least 2 courses probably done in a very reasonable amount of time over the next 2 weeks if you want to check it out. And we won't be offering that much of everything for this long, for the full 14 days. So check it out while you can. And it's a really great opportunity to really dive in and utilize some of the resources if you're looking to sort of go deeper on your healing journey. So anyways, the last major reason that dismissive avoidance will often pull away is if they feel afraid that they're becoming too vulnerable. So dismissive avoidants associate vulnerability to being like very unsafe, making them feel trapped or helpless or powerless, because a lot of times in childhood, if they felt too vulnerable, they would come to feel weak, or they would come to feel like their vulnerability didn't serve, and it just made them feel like, sort of helpless further or more trapped in a situation. And so sometimes when dismissive avoidants, are opening up a lot and kind of like, really kind of like letting their guard down and falling for somebody, or really interested, sometimes they'll sort of have this knee-jerk reaction at a subconscious level that causes them to shut back down and guard themselves, because they sort of have this interesting dynamic where they're in their feelings minus their fears. And so when those fears come online quite strongly, or if something triggers this concept or idea that something bad could happen in the relationship, again, they'll really go into self-protection and self-preservation mode, which is a very common space for dismissive avoidance. So those are some of our most common reasons for anybody who is curious. I hope this is helpful. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.